Hello there, welcome to the final ever series of Studio 11. We're here in the sun and boy have we got treats up for you today. My name's David Waldridge and today we'll be talking to body modification expert Mac McCarthy, and throughout the show we'll be showing you the greatest attractions, health and beauty tips and hobbies for you to try out. So let's get this sunny series started and look what's coming up today on today's show. We'll head down to Oxford to catch up with Pete Ramsdale to learn all about his motorbike collection. We'll be introducing you to the world of Mendi as Gurdeep Singh tells us all about henna. And finally, we'll take a look at the treasures contained within Staffordshire Hoard. We also have Alligator Souvenir Shop in the studio today, who will be playing a few summary tracks for us all. And to make things even better, we'll have Mac here in the studio with us to tell us all about his body modification business and share all his knowledge with us. Now, make sure to grab your helmet, maybe some chalk and a rope as well, because we're going to go on the cliffs with the BCU Rock Climbing Society. Check this out, guys.
This is Birmingham City University's Rock Climbing Society. We decided to visit to see what all the fuss was about and to look at why people decide to come and do rock climbing. The first question we asked was, what are the health benefits?
There's quite a few health benefits. It's really good for your muscles. Like, I'll be climbing on, like, say today, and tomorrow morning I'll wake up and just have muscles aching that I never knew I had. So it's getting a lot of the muscles. It's like your core strength it works on. So it's pretty good. And it's always good to exercise, and it's quite good for stamina because you're on the, especially on the high walls, because you're building up stamina and getting up to the top. So yeah, a lot of health benefits.
So, with these improvements to your health, there surely must be a boost in confidence too. But we decided to ask John, a regular climber, what else he thinks attracts other newcomers and amateurs to the sport.
Well, for some people it seems like a extreme kind of sport, so they like the height, and yeah, I like that. It's kind of like a new challenge where you can challenge yourself physically but also mentally, so you're going up, you're thinking about the moves, you're pushing yourself. You're a bit scared sometimes, but that's all about the challenge.
What about the other challenges you might face? Once you join the sport, how quick could you get to know and rely on the other climbers in a club?
So you become quite good friends with them. So we end up, as a society, we all go out quite often and go to food, and we won't just meet up to climb, we'll do a lot more.
It's great to know you'll be welcome and accepted in the club. But hang on, where will rock climbing go next? How can it possibly improve? We decided to ask Dan what areas the sport is moving into next.
There's a bid to try and make it as part of the Olympics, and at the moment it's one of the, I think it's 6 sports that have been shortlisted to be included in the 2020 Olympics, so that's where it's going, hopefully.
A good social circle, fantastic health improvements and a solid looking future. What more could you ask for? Why not join your local club and try rock climbing for yourself?
But anyway, now we have Mac McCarthy in the studio with us. Everybody give him an applause. Come on, studio, thank you. To tell us all about his body modification work. So, tell us more, Mac.
Well, I'm Mac. I'm one of the country's top body modification specialists, and I do anything and everything body mod.
Oh, brilliant. So, talk us through it then. What are the different types of body mods?
There's lots of different sorts, scarification, branding, implants, ear pointing, tongue splitting, you know, removing certain bits of the body. There's all sorts of things that I do.
Okay, so talk us through maybe the first procedure you would do then.
Well, I'm doing subdermal implants.
Okay.
But one of the main things that I do is scarification.
Scarification, okay.
I really enjoy that. It's one of my favourites.
So what is that exactly then?
It's along the same sort of lines as tattooing.
Okay.
You clean and prep the skin, take the stencil, put it onto the skin, and then instead of using a tattoo machine and ink, I use a scalpel and I cut the design into the body.
Oh, fantastic. I believe you've got some pictures with you today
We
with
have,
examples
we've got a
of
couple
this.
stills, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, well, we'll see if we can have a look at them, if we can get them up on the screen now. We'll talk. So you talk us through them. So what's this one then, Matt?
This one is skin removal. So this one, obviously you can see it's a lot wider. You cut the edge of the design away, and then there's a special blade that you just take the surface of.
So this would be typically used on a wider, bigger design.
Yeah,
such as that one.
wider areas, so you're getting more of the skin removal, because obviously you couldn't get a line like that. With
Okay, and talk us through this one.
This one is more of your straightforward lines. This is a nice little snowflake design that I did on the back of the shoulder, but that's just more your straightforward standard line cuts.
Yeah, because that seems a lot more deeper as well than the previous one.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
When you're doing skin removal, it's just the epidermis, just the surface of the skin.
Okay.
That's it.
So what kind of materials do you use to do this with then?
Well, we just use scalpels. I've got a couple of scalpels here. Obviously, they're all numbered. They're all surgical, sterile blades. And for this one, different blades work for different sorts of cuts.
Okay.
So there's a whole range, and like I say, they're all surgical. One of the
Fantastic.
ones that I really like is the flat blade for the skin removal, because it just slides
takes
along.
off.
It's brilliant to do.
Okay, now you also, well, we can see you're a fan of it, but apparently you've got a famous tattoo. Do you think you could show us that?
Yes, it is quite famous. The gunshot wound on the back of my head.
Oh wow! Look at that! Wow.
So yeah, that was the exit, and here's the entry point on the front as well for the.
I bet you've had people telling you down the street like, oh, right?
Yeah, I've had people chasing me, looking from a distance, seeing that I've actually hurt the back of my head, and they think there's genuine blood running down. Even from the front, I've had people standing this close saying,
"Oh, you got
you better wipe your head, you've hurt yourself," and I'm like, "It's a tattoo," and they can't believe it.
So, what else do you do with body modification then? What's
well, we do subdermal implants as well.
Okay.
I brought a selection of, just a small selection of some of the subdermals that I use. They're surgical grade silicone, and they're soft, yeah. They're sort of like a sort of wine gum consistency.
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to stop you there, but we'll pick it up again later, because now we have Alligator Souvenir Shop performing live in the studio with Losing My Mind.
Can't help me now. Should I even be? Or maybe try and get out. I need some sort of sign, something to show me the way. While sipping your wine, slowly fading up. I don't wanna stay, yet I wanna go. I don't wanna stay, yet I wanna. Well, you're making it harder than it actually is. You say that you're mine, girl, but I know that you're his. Yeah, you're driving me crazy. I'm slowly losing my mind. We're going out on a frenzy. I'm losing it. I don't wanna stay, yet I wanna go. I don't wanna stay, yet I wanna wait. I need some sort of sign. wanna go. I don't wanna stay here. You don't wanna go. I don't wanna stay here. I don't wanna stay. I don't wanna go. I don't wanna stay. I don't wanna
Alligator Souvenir Shop. That was brilliant. And still coming up, we've got Gurpreet Singh to tell us all about henna. But now, throughout this series, we're going to be looking at people's interesting hobbies. Now today, the first one is Pete Ramsdale to tell us all about his interesting motorcycle collection. Check this out, guys.
Motorbikes have been around since the late 19th century and have been mainly used as a form of transport. Now, they have become more of a collectible item for avid motorbike enthusiasts. Today, we will be talking to one such enthusiast about his collection and what got him started.
Hello Pete, thanks for letting us visit you today. I understand you've come to talk to us about your motorbikes. What first got you interested in motorbikes and why has it kept you interested for so long?
I first got interested when I was at school. I was about 15, and at that time you could actually ride a 250 motorbike on the road when you were 16. So it was, whereas you had to be 17 to drive a car.
So when was it that you first purchased your?
1971. Okay. Just after I'd finished my GCSEs.
Okay, and what was your first motorbike, and why did you choose?
It was a BSA 250. At that time the Japanese had just started making bikes, but there were certain people who preferred old English bikes like myself, and the 250 BSA was probably the most powerful one I could get my hands on at the time.
How many bikes do you own?
I own 4 at the moment. This one here, which I bought when I was 17, it's the second bike I own, and I've just finished restoring it. I've got a Northern Commando over there, which is a 750cc British motorbike, a 250 Montesa Trials bike, which is going off-road, and this beast here, which is a Kawasaki 1100, which is now 20 years old, but when I first bought it, it was the fastest bike you could buy. It produces about 150 brake horsepower, about the same as an average saloon car.
And out of all the bikes you've owned, both past and present, which is your favourite?
The Northern Commando. I've had that an awful long time. I actually shipped it over from Australia initially, and I spent a lot of time building it, rebuilding it. But I've been using it on the road for getting on for 25 years now.
How many years have you actually been rebuilding bikes then?
Well, the thing about British bikes are they tend to fall apart quite a lot. So as an example, this BSA here, when I first got it, I managed to make a big hole in the piston. So this has been off the road for quite a long time, for quite a number of years. But I found a new piston on eBay a couple of years ago, which prompted me into rebuilding it.
It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you very much, enjoyed it.
I don't know what it was, those vintage vehicles were absolutely beautiful. And we'll be back with Mac, the body modification expert, soon. Now, here at Studio 11, we sometimes want to go outside our own culture, try something different. So we sent Gurpreet Singh to go and check out some henna and their traditional art. Check this out, guys, this should be really interesting.
The art of henna has been practiced for over 5,000 years in places such as India, Pakistan, Africa and the Middle East. Henna was primarily used as a cooling agent by the people of the desert. They dipped their hands and feet in the henna to cool themselves down. Today, henna is used to adorn bodies with beautiful artwork, usually for self-expression, special occasions such as weddings and beauty treatments, among many other uses. Now we will be talking to Gurpreet, who practices the art of henna.
So what is henna?
Henna is a plant which is grown in exotic countries like warm countries like India, Pakistan, It's a leaf which is ground quite finely into a powder, and then water and a lot of essential oils are added to it to make a paste. And the paste is applied onto the skin, which leaves a stain. The henna paste then crumbles off, and your stain deepens in colour over the next couple of days.
That's interesting. So you practice henna. How did you originally learn?
Well, I've always been into art. I've been to a lot of like Indian weddings where they have henna people come to the henna. It's been quite an evolutionary process, to be honest. Like, I've always doodled on pieces of paper, and people, thought that I was quite good. So I thought, okay, why not just take it up with a henna cone? So I did, and I seemed to just get the hang of it. So I started doing henna.
And how much do you charge for henna?
Well, if you want to just, from the finger to the wrist, I charge about £5, and from the finger to the forearm, I charge about £10.
So obviously this is your hobby, but what do you think of people that have it as a career? Because obviously it's like makeup artists, they're always on the road. That's what they do these days. What do you think?
Well, to be honest, I've always wanted a professional job as well. So this sort of thing, like doing henna, doing painting, it's always been, it has been, and it's going to always be a hobby for me. I think if I did pursue it as a career, I'd lose my passion for it. So that's why I've kept to just keep it as a hobby. I think I'd enjoy it more. I find it very therapeutic as well.
So do you feel unique being a male in a female-orientated industry?
I do actually. A lot of people have said to me that you're a guy, and don't you find it weird that it's a female-orientated thing? It's weird because back in India, a lot of the guys do henna. Not many ladies do henna, but in the UK, a lot of the ladies all of a sudden come into the henna industry. Yeah. So I do feel quite unique. I do feel quite special when I go out to places, and they're quite surprised to see a guy do henna.
Okay, well thank you for your time today. Thank you for coming, and thank you for the henna.
Well, they look absolutely great, didn't they? Make sure to stick around, because we're also going to be heading down to Staffordshire later to check out some Anglo-Saxon treasures. So very interesting and very peculiar. But anyway, we've got Mac back with us again to talk us through where we left off. So where did we leave off then, Mac?
We were just talking about the subdermals, as we were saying, the silicone implants, yeah. And as we were saying, they're like a soft sort of wine gum consistency. They're surgical grade.
And I'm really surprised how kind of soft they are, to be honest. Yes. I believe you've got some examples today to show us how they look once they're done.
Yes, we have. We've got a couple of shots of ones that I've done.
Here we go.
So here we go. Yeah, that's the basic ball closure ring. That was freshly done. That one sat down really well initially. They don't always sit as neat as that to start off with.
I believe we've got another one as well that shows.
We have. These are really popular. They came out towards the end of last year, these skull designs, and a lot of people have gone for these. Yeah, they're really popular. And this one just shows from when it was first done to 12 months later, and the progression and how it's healed, because you can't quite see the definition in the first side, but once it was healed, then
like you said before, it doesn't sink as well straight away.
It takes a while for them to work.
Okay, so what kind of tools do you use to do all this with?
I've got a couple of bits here. Obviously I didn't bring too much stuff because there's so many surgical instruments.
Oh, I imagine, definitely.
We use these, they're called Dittel Sounds.
Okay.
These are my preference anyway, other artists use different things. And what we do is we make an incision into the skin, in through the dermis layer down to the fat layer, into the subcutaneous layer, and then progressively go through the small sounds and gradually build up, and you make a pocket. Make a pocket for the implant, you pop that in, and get rid of the excess fluid and air and stitch them back up.
So like a sandwich, really?
Yeah.
So how would you push one of these silicone things into the skin?
They can be quite awkward initially, because I try and make as small an incision as possible. So I have one of these which I like to use, a little curved over lifter, and just
put it
inside the wound, lift it.
Brilliant.
Makes a nice pocket and slides in nice and easy then. It's a lot easier that way.
Any other times where there's been maybe some done wrong by someone else that you've had to fix or anything like that?
There's always little instances, whether it's the artist or the client's not fault, but just lack of experience in how they've done things. But yeah, one of the main things I'm doing at the moment is ear reconstructions for the earlobes, for the stretch lobes. So obviously, like I have, and people have just overstretched over the years, and now for one reason or another, either career, personal choice, or
I believe we've got some pictures of this as well.
We have, we've got a couple of shots here.
Here we go.
So this is before freshly finished and healed when the sutures have come out. So you can see there's no hole there anymore. A little bit of a scar, but that'll fade over time. And this one again for another girl. She was having a career change. Because you see she did have something at the top of the ear as well, but she wanted a career change, and this was the other side, so it was hampering her future, so she changed. I mean, it shouldn't, but it's one of those things that it did, and she wanted to have them repaired.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
I do lots and lots of
so you do a bit of everything, a bit of
that's it, the reconstruction work is really good,
Okay. But now also there's a rubric around the Studio 11 studio and on the floor. Apparently your tongue has been, you've done something to you?
Yes, bifurcation, so it's
come on, show us. Come on, we'll wait and see it. Oh, look at that, wow. That's brilliant. Did you do that yourself, or did you get...
No, this was done by another artist. I've done hundreds of them, but this was done by another guy. It's too dangerous to do it yourself.
I imagine so,
shaving in the mirror, let alone trying to cut my own tongue in half.
Brilliant, well thank you for your time today, Mark. You've been absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, and we've all learned so much from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
But make sure to stick around with us, as we'll have Alligator Sound Shop. We're performing and taking us out live. But now, it's time to go down to Staffordshire and check out some Anglo-Saxon ancient artefacts they got for us. This is really interesting and quite peculiar, really, so there's a lot to learn. So make sure to stick around and watch this, guys.
Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery hosts the Great Staffordshire Hoard as an attraction. We spoke with Dr. David Simmons to find out all about it. So, where was the hoard discovered?
Right, the hoard was discovered, the first piece came out of the ground on July the 5th, 2009, and it was discovered by a chap called Terry Herbert. And Terry's been, he's a very experienced detectorist. He's been detecting for years, but I think even Terry will admit he's never found anything quite like this before, and certainly hasn't since.
Having discovered the hoard in a random field, what's the monetary and historical value?
The only valuation I can really make for the hoard is the valuation that was produced by the Treasure Valuation Committee, and they came up with a figure of £3,285,000 for the hoard, and that's the value as far as anyone can tell you. And the historical value of this find is immense. The window it opens into the so-called Dark Ages for us is amazing. I mean, nobody, I think, ever expected to find a find like this just hidden in a field in Staffordshire. A lot of the hoard is decorated with a technique called filigree, which consists of making little twisted gold wires and then soldering them back onto a golden plate. This hoard has just produced the most amazing discoveries, including numbers of things that we still have no idea what they are, and we hope that will become clear as the research goes. We've had a display here continually since March 2010, so that's not quite 3 years, and in that time this hoard display has been visited by 590,000 people. If you add up all the visitors we've had here, all the visitors to our partner museum in Stoke-on-Trent, who also have hoard material on display, and in a couple of travelling exhibitions that we've done on the hoard, well over 1 million people have seen the hoard since it came out of the ground, which we think is not bad for just over 3 years.
As the hoard has been currently showcased across all of the UK and some sent for research, where will the majority end up? Is there a future for it here at the Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery?
And there was a very strong feeling it's got to stay here in the Midlands, as we're trying to make the hoard work for the West Midlands region as a whole. But in terms of Birmingham, what we're building towards is a major new gallery here in the museum, which will come on stream in September 2014. If people can delay, then September 2014, come here and see the hoard, and it will be astonishing.
Well, that was really enjoyable and just incredible, really. But I'm afraid that's it for today's show. What a shame. Yeah, I know. But again, make sure to tune in again next week, because this is going to be great. It's going to be the same again. It's great every week. Thank you to Mac for coming into the studio today, and all our other guests that we've had involved. But right now we're going to go out with Alligator Souvenir Shop with their song Dirty Shoes.
I just need to know how. Every day you're causing around, sick to my head, I've gotta get out. This shit, you never been true, fell for it and now I'm through. You would've stayed if you knew it was true. Pick my dirty shoes before I ever. You will never hear me again. Will never fail me again. Will never hear me again. Will never, you will never me again. Will never save me again. Will never fail me again. Will never. I know you think you'll only have fun messing with me, then going on the run. Silly girl, doing it all wrong, like robbing a bank without holding a gun. You've never been true, fell for it, and now I'm through. You would've stayed if you knew it was. Pick my dirty shoes before I ever.